Before this video starts, if you like what you see in this episode and you want to see more of me, you can always subscribe to my main YouTube channel, Kingtanic. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Otaku Experience, the anime non-news show where we talk about the current goings-on in the anime and manga industry with our very uneducated opinions. Once again, I am your host, Israel, and first things first, we did it, boys! And girls, because that's just like a thing that you say, we did it, guys! There we go, yeah! Episode 25 of the Otaku Experience. Guys, we've done a quarter of 100 episodes of this series. I can only say that this is only possible because of you guys and your support and the fact that you guys watch, because if this show got 2 views every week, this probably would not still be going. So I want to thank you guys so much for all of your support that you guys have been giving us over this past I guess a few months now. I was going to say a few weeks, but I was like, no, it's way too short. The support you've been giving Rob, the support you've been giving me, the support you've been giving the Brunette Work as a whole, as the group has expanded and grown so much in the past little bit, and will continue to grow and expand in the near future. Now, I want to address something real quick. And that's about where was I last week? Okay, so last week, obviously, that's when this episode should have come out. We should have been celebrating the 25th episode last week. I honestly forgot. Okay, forgot is the wrong term because that makes it seem like I don't care. It's not that I don't care. I was so busy and locked into what I was doing, and all of my brain power was going towards that anything other than relaxation besides that, my mind couldn't focus on. And so I'll be straight up with you. It's not that I forgot about the Otaku Experience, it's that I was so focused on something else that I didn't even think about it. And it got to a point on Thursday last week where it was like 6 p.m. and I was like, oh snap, the Otaku Experience. So I started like trying to look up and load up the stories, and I just realized it would take way too long. It would come out really bad, and I only have Thursdays off. So I had work the next morning, and it just would not have been the greatest thing. I would have been in a rush and things like that. And I just didn't want to have to go through that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually be including stories from the past 2 weeks in this episode of the Otaku Experience. So things that have come out since the previous episode, things that came out on the day of that show that I didn't cover, and on all that the past 2 weeks is all fair game in terms of stories. We're not going to just cover the stories that happened this past week, which there's a lot. There's a lot of trailers this week, which we'll get into in a second. The last thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the actual news segment of the show is I'm actually going to start bringing back the comment section at the end of every episode. So starting next week, because there's no comments for me to read because I've been replying to them in the comment section for the past few months. But I want to try to bring it back. So that being said, if you guys have a comment or a question or a theory about whatever we talk about in this week's episode, or something random that has to do with the anime and manga industry or whatever, or you just want to say, hey, Israel, what's your favorite color? It's magenta, now you know. You can hop down in the comment section, and at the end of next week's show, we will go into those topics that you guys want to send in there. All right, I think that's everything. And with all that being said, we're going to get right into the stories, starting with the BORUTO manga is finally returning. If you guys remember, back in April, we talked about the hiatus that the BORUTO manga was going to be taking as the anime had ended its first part, as well as the manga also going on hiatus in preparation for the Naruto 20th anniversary big hype special thing. I think that's the actual technical name of it, that they've been doing basically the entire year. We know that Naruto is coming back. I believe it's September that is coming back. They're doing 4 episodes with that. They've been doing some chapters here and there, some spin-off stuff. And we knew that BORUTO was going to be taking a break. Well, it is coming back. So take a look at this. The official Naruto and Boruto Twitter account, they have like separate ones, but then they also have a conjoined Twitter account, or at Naruto Koseki, I think is how you pronounce it. But basically that account tweeted on July 21st that the next arc will release 1 month after that announcement on August 21st, which means that this manga panel right here, I assume that this is going to be the panel. I could be wrong. This might just be a promotional image, but I assume it's going to be the panel. That means that this is going to be out as of the release of this episode. It should be coming out, in like 18 days. So, hey, if you're a Boruto fan, personally, I am not. Well, then again, I'm not even really a Naruto fan. Not that I don't like Naruto. I've just never, we've talked about this before, but for anyone who's new, I've just never gotten into Naruto. I'm too scared to, because of how many episodes there are. There are so many episodes that it's like, and I mainly on my main channel cover anime seasonally. And then it's like, if I try to throw in an episode with hundreds and hundreds of episodes, if there's not really any relevance to that show in the current season. So what I mean by that is last year in the fall, we had Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War coming out. And so I binged all of Bleach to catch up to that so that way I could cover it. Now, Naruto does have these 4 episodes coming out, but I don't really know if this is going to be like an official arc, like a little mini 4-episode arc, or if these are going to be kind of like OVAs, or what the heck the really big deal about this is. All I know is that Naruto's coming back. Do I want to cover it? Yes. But is there also a lot of other stuff that's going on? Yes. So like I said, I've said this before every time this topic comes up, but for those of you guys that are new or maybe missed those episodes or whatever, I probably will end up seeing these Naruto episodes, but probably not when they air. It'll probably be closer to the end of the year when I see those episodes. But as for Boruto, I'm not a Boruto fan because I just haven't seen Boruto because I haven't seen Naruto. So there you go with that. So this is going to be called Boruto Bolt 2 Blue Vortex, as you can see right there on the title. And in the official tweet, the translation just said, Boruto Bolt Part 2, Boruto Bolt 2 Blue Vortex. Serialization starts from the next V Jump October special issue, released on August 21st. And I mean, if you're a Boruto fan, I assume you're very, very excited for this, to see it coming back. I'm surprised that it's coming back before the Naruto special. I would think they would want to highlight all of that, but maybe they're doing this so that way they can start ramping up the fan base again, start easing them back into that world. And then when the Naruto episodes come, they explode. I think they'll explode either way because it's freaking Naruto, one of the biggest anime franchises of all time. But I guess I assumed that with how long that hiatus was going, that they were going to wait until those 4 episodes came out before they brought back Boruto, just to like give all the hype to Naruto, because it's Naruto's 20th anniversary. It's not Boruto's, but it's all part of the same franchise. So however that pans out is fine for them, I guess. But anyways, moving on to the next story, which is Trailer Mania. Did you hear me? Trailer Mania. We had so many trailers over the past few weeks. I don't know if there was like a con or something was happening. I know Anime Expo was like a few weeks ago. This was after that. So I don't know what the heck just happened. Did I miss a convention? Because we got especially a lot of Adult Swim trailers, but we got a lot of things, starting with the live action One Piece. You guys have not stopped yelling at me. Every time I show up in any sort of live chat or on social media or whatever, someone always ats me in the chat, singles me out, and they go, Israel, have you watched the One Piece trailer? And I said, no, I haven't. Nope, not really. I mean, the show's airing in like a month. Like, it'll be fine. But then everybody's like, no, you must watch it. And so I watched it. And it's a really freaking good trailer. Listen, I don't know what to tell you. As someone who's only been reading the manga, and in the grand scheme of things, I'm not very far into the manga, but I've read a few chapters. This to me looks like a decent adaptation so far. I have no idea how this looks in comparison to the anime, other than like visually speaking, because I've seen what the anime characters look like, and I've seen some of the animation and some of the fight scenes and things like that. But in terms of like how it compares to the vibe and the tone overall to the anime, I can't really say. But as someone who's read parts of the manga, this seems like it's a pretty faithful adaptation overall to the core of the story, which is really, kind of optimistic. Earlier this year, we got so many people asking me, every time we did a comment section at the end, there would always at least be one question where it's like, are you excited for the new One Piece? And I'd be like, no, I'm not. No, can't be. Look, Netflix has just done us wrong too many times. The Hollywood machine in general has done us wrong too many times with anime adaptations. Can't trust them. I think they did it, guys. I think that I wrote in my notes here. I said, those cheeky bastards pulled it off. Somehow they did this. How did this happen? All right, so listen. So this trailer came out on July 21st. And I just got to say, I have one problem with this trailer, and it looks like with the show overall, and that is, to me, and you can see it in this image right here, the color correction looks pretty flat, especially if you think about how the anime looks. The anime is so colorful. I hit my mic. The anime is so colorful. It just pops, hits you in the face with awesomeness and color, and it's so vibrant. Then here, the shots are really amazing. I was really surprised by the production quality and how good the action looks. Everything like that is top tier. But then when it came to, even the visual effects are good. But when it came to the color correction, I was still kind of like, it seems kind of flat. Like it looks like a Marvel movie. And it's like, bro, why is it so gray? Like, why is, especially that Luffy image we just looked at, why is it so grayed out? Like, this shot is amazing looking. Like, the effects, I don't know how much of this is effects. I don't know how much of this is, like, actual sets. It's crazy. But I will say that this shot is composed amazingly. I just wish that the colors popped just a little bit more. I would have taken off that yellow color filter a little more and just had things pop more naturally with their natural saturation. I get that for, like, you know, you have to let it be in that world. And so the color correction is an inherent part of that to establishing the tone and establishing what the world feels like. But to me, it kind of makes it look more dull than anything. But yeah, the action, like I was saying, was great. There's a little bit of a blood splatter, as you can see there. So I was surprised that they were going to do that. Are they going to only have blood splatter for certain things? Or are they going to go more for a mature-ish rating, especially when it comes towards the action? I think that could be pretty interesting, but the action is so goofy. It is so crazy. I love it, and I can't wait to see the action in its full glory. And even at the end here, we see Luffy punching the dude with all of his hands. It's so great. This was so much fun. Like I said in my notes, those cheeky bastards. Netflix, you did it. You did it. I'm mad at you. Somehow you pulled it off, and I'm livid. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm pretty excited for the live action One Piece. I don't know how this happened. Netflix, if I watch this show and it's mid, I don't know what I'll do, but it'll be something really bad. Anyways, there are more trailers that came out these past few weeks, and one of them was One Piece, but then we got a slate of 3 of them in a row that are actually from where are my topics? Oh wait, yeah, okay, I have it already. There we go. Okay, great, we're good. Sorry. It's been a while. I was like, where's my headline? Then I realized the headline was there. No, this is a subtopic of the main topic. So one of the trailers that we got was for the Adult Swim anime trailers, and we got 3 of them. And one of them was the trailer for Lazarus, which we talked about a few weeks ago. It's the anime. It's set into the future. It's animated by MAPPA. It's one of the anime originals that they're doing. And it's set in the future. You know, you have this doctor, you know, technology super advanced. You have this doctor giving out this cure and this vaccine to everybody who is sick. Everybody gets it. And then it turns out that that person was actually super evil. And they're like, ha, you're all going to die in like a couple years. And so now this group of vigilantes are like put together called Lazarus. They're put together to try to create a cure and try to stop this bad guy. I think it looks super cool. I think it sounds super awesome. And we finally got a full trailer for it. Now, there's no dialogue in this trailer. They really don't focus in on that, so I don't want to call this a trailer necessarily. It's more like a teaser. It's mainly just to establish the tone, give you the vibes, give you and the vibes were great. The music in this trailer is fantastic. They also want to just give you the visuals. There was a lot of action in here. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on here. A lot of amazing shots like this one. And I wrote in my notes, I said the action looks so fluid. I can't show it, obviously, because anime copyright is insane. But if you guys go look up the trailer, just Lazarus trailer, maybe anime, maybe Adult Swim, however you want to type that in there, look at the action. Like, dude's basically like gliding around the room and he's just like do 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 do, and he's hitting everybody. I was gonna say fisting, but that's not what that is. Anyways, he was using his fists, but but the animation in every aspect. I mean, of course, it's MAPPA. We knew this. I mean, they made freaking a ballet anime last year. One of my favorite anime of last year, Dance Dance Dancer. Even those scenes were like, oh my gosh, it's so cool, ballet. So MAPPA can do that. So obviously, action, they are no stranger to. They can do that super, super well. And I gotta say, I do hope to see like a more real trailer, in the sense like with actual dialogue and more plot stuff and with character moments. But in terms of just establishing the tone and the vibe and what this is going to at least look and feel like, I think they did a decent job. I'm still very excited for the show. I'm excited to see it. I do wonder if it's going to actually like come to a streaming service on like Crunchyroll or something like that, or if you're going to have to watch it on like Adult Swim, or if it's going to go to HBO Max, or I guess now it's just Max. I don't really know how that's going to work. I guess we'll find out that closer to that. Or if you guys already do know that, please hop into the comments and let me know about that. Then we got another trailer for this one, is another Adult Swim, and this is Uzumaki. And so Uzumaki, I have a little synopsis here. It says, a mysterious spiral shape. Uzumaki haunts the small Japanese coastal town. Citizens suddenly become attracted to a spiral-shaped objects. Suichi Saito's father is one of them. He becomes increasingly obsessed with spirals, snails, whirlpools, as well as decorations on pottery. This by itself isn't a huge problem, but something more sinister is lurking. When his dead body is found positioned in a spiral shape, the town must prepare for the worst. So all I gotta say, this might be my most anticipated out of the 3 trailers that we got. I don't know why. And this was the one that I knew the least about. And so going in, I guess maybe that because I went in with no expectations, that it was just able to be like, but the animation, it's all in black and white. It's really, really weird. In a good way. Like the tone is just like, it's strange. Like even by that synopsis, it's strange. It's weird. But in a good way. So the animation was really nice. I couldn't tell if it was hand-drawn animation or if it was CG. The animation was kind of smooth, like really smooth, that I was like, but it also didn't look overly CG. So maybe this is one of those cases where it is CG, but they just did it really well. And so you don't even notice. But at first, like there's a scene where, these 2 characters, they're talking to each other. He's talking to the girl and she like tilts her head and looks up at him. And the way that it looked, I was like, I think that's CG, but I don't mind. It doesn't look bad. And then this also seems to be more of like a disturbing horror type show, at least psychological horror. You have shots like this. It's really weird. The vibes are really strange. And the entire trailer is a really, really cool trailer in terms of its structure. So the entire trailer is this conversation between this guy and this girl where he's telling her basically like that whole synopsis. He's telling this girl about his dad and how he's like, you know, in love with these spirals. He has to like make a spiral in the bath before he's able to get in it. He's obsessed with the shape and everything like that. He goes into his room and he has so many different spiral stuff. And then obviously he dies. And as he's talking about it, they keep cutting to scenes like this, and it's really, really disturbing and unnerving. And then the trailer ends, like the tension builds, and then you get like the title, Uzumaki. And I was like, bro, when does this air? I need to watch this now. It looks really, really fun. I guess not fun, but it looks really, really good. And it looks interesting. It's weird. When I say weird, I don't mean that in a negative way. And when I say fun, I don't think I mean that in the stereotypical way either. Like this looks really weird and fun in a way that isn't that, but very much is. If you watch the trailer, you will know exactly what I mean by that. It's really hard to explain. This trailer was freaking awesome, and I cannot wait to see this anime. Then the last one we got was one called Ninja Kamui. This is the last one, at least for the Adult Swim trailers. We have 2 more after this, actually. I know. Like I said, crazy trailers. And that is we had a trailer for a show called Ninja Kamui. So if you don't know what Ninja Kamui is, I have a synopsis here as well. The story of Ninja Kamui centers around Joe Higan, a former ninja seeking revenge in rural America with his family to escape his violent past. However, his peaceful life is shattered when vengeful assassins from his former organization track him down. Left for dead, Joe emerges as Ninja Kamui. Fueled by a relentless desire for vengeance, armed with ancient skills facing modern weaponry, he embarks on a quest to avenge his loved ones, confronting trained assassins, combat cyborgs, and rival ninjas, while taking on the very clan he once belonged to. Once again, they were 3 for 3. Fantastic. I'm so excited for all of these shows. So this one's more just upfront action, whereas the first trailer was more like just vibes and like, oh my gosh, it's more abstract. Like, what's going on? This is really cool. I like the tone. They got like lo-fi playing in the background. Then you have Uzumaki, which is a lot more tense and more psychological horror and more just like, what the heck is going on? More of a mystery. Then you get Ninja Kamui and it's just straight up action. And you're like, bro, they got 3 hitters of anime coming out, all completely different from each other. And you're still like equally excited for all 3. It's amazing. So they had an action scene here, and it was really hard to find screenshots, decent screenshots of the action because he's moving so fast. And I found this out at the end. They have like a little Q&A, so I recommend everybody go and watch the trailer for that Q&A. It was really cool, where they have the director come in and answer a couple questions. And you find out that it's the director of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 and The God of High School. And you're like, no wonder the action looked so amazing in this. It's a guy who knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to anime fight scenes. I didn't love God of High School. I can't even say I liked God of High School. But one thing that I think everyone can agree on, whether you like it or dislike it, is that the animation, just the production design in general, but the animation and the action scenes were top notch. They were some of the best fights, if not the best fights of that entire year. It was insane. I believe 2 of them were even nominated for the Anime Awards that year. Like 2 fights from the same anime were nominated for Anime Awards. It was crazy because they were so good. And so this guy is going to be there. Like, bro, come to, Lazarus for the world and the futuristic stuff. Come to Uzumaki for like the psychological horror and the tenseness and the mystery, and then come to Ninja Kamui to put your feet up, get some popcorn, and just watch dude kill a bunch of people, kill a bunch of mother effers. You know what I mean? It was really, really cool. So Adult Swim, killing it. It looks like they're getting more. I know they've done anime in the past. I'm not saying that they're completely new to this, but it does seem like they're getting more involved. It looks like they're really taking this seriously, and they're like, hey, there's really a path for us here where we can do these shows, where we can basically like distribute these, where we can work in tandem with an anime studio and then distribute these because they can see how big anime is becoming. So good on you, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. You're good. Is Adult Swim still Cartoon Network? I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. But anyways, then we had, like I said, there's 2 more trailers after this. We had one for Alice Totari's no Maraboshi, which we've been talking about quite a bit. And that's the one that MAPPA released the trailer for. I believe it was MAPPA. They released the trailer from this years ago, and then nothing came out of it. There's another screenshot from Ninja Kamui. Looks sick. But anyways, back to Alice Totari's. This one was the one where we got like that amazing like 90-second teaser with like amazing animation, and then nothing came of it. And we were like, did the production get canceled? Was it just too much? Did it cost too much money? Did it take too long? What happened? It just went silent for like 2 years. And then suddenly this year we started getting headlines again about it. And so this time we actually got a full trailer. And if you guys don't know what this anime is about, because I'll tell you this, I sure as heck didn't until I read this synopsis, because this trailer is all to freak over the place. I have no idea what's going on, but I love it. So here's the synopsis for this. The plot revolves around 3 teenagers in a gloomy town that was the site of a steelworks explosion. Male protagonist Masamune Kikiuri finds himself led by the enigmatic Mutsumi Sagami to the steelworks' 5th blast furnace, where a feral girl called Itsumi resides. The encounter between these three breaks the balance of the world, and the unstoppable impulse to fall in love between boys and girls who are sick of everyday life begins its destruction. Bro, who came up with this? Like, what the heck is going on here? What did you say to me? It was insane. The animation is the first thing. Like, when everybody talks about this, they're going to talk about the animation. Obviously. This might be some of the best animation I've ever seen. This is also a movie, so obviously it has that budget and that priority from studios because it's a feature film that's going to go into theaters and things like that. And I can't wait to see this in a theater. It looks fantastic from a visual standpoint. The story, I don't know. The story seems kind of like it was different than what I thought, but at the same time, perfectly like in line where I'm like, that's exactly what this synopsis would be. But at the same time, I was still kind of like, what? Like, even reading it again now, I'm like, what did I just read? What is going on here? Like, I don't know who comes up with this stuff. I don't know if this is like based on a book or if this is anime original, whatever the case may be. All I know is that it was really, really fascinating to look at. I don't know what's going on, but I'm excited to see it. You know what I mean? All right. I think you know what I mean. Go watch the trailer if you haven't. Then we had the final trailer of the past 2 weeks, unless one dropped while I'm filming this, in which case we'll have to talk about some more trailers next week. I really only talk about the trailers that I like and that I think are a big enough deal for us to talk about, because you guys know my opinion on this. Most times anime trailers, I'm not really into all that much. Don't really like anime trailers all that much. I find that they don't really know how to be a trailer without just being like a best, like almost like just a montage of things. And, you know, I actually found this out the other day. I was talking to my girlfriend about this because I was showing her the trailer for her and I saw Oppenheimer, and then she wanted to see more Christopher Nolan movies, so I showed her the trailer for Tenet. And after we watched it, I asked like what she thought about it, and she was like, "Yeah, it looks cool." I was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Yeah, what'd you think? Like, would you want to watch this?" Da, da, da. And I was trying to get her thoughts on it to see if we should watch it at some point. And she didn't really have any thoughts on anything that they said in the trailer about the plot. Everything was from a visual standpoint. And I was like, well, what did you think about like the setup or what the hook of the story is? And she was like, I honestly wasn't really paying attention to that. And I won't say that that's like a fault of hers or anything like that, but I just thought it was interesting that maybe these studios know that that's not where the general audience's head is at. And so that's why these anime trailers are the way that they are. They just know that the audience only wants to see the amazing animation and hear the music. And so they just throw in all that stuff versus something that I like to see more of, which is seeing the plot, seeing like a miniature version of a movie or of the anime that I can see and then gauge if I want to watch it, not just see how cool the animation is or how cool the visuals are. But it seems like that might be what casual audiences are more about. Do me a favor, guys, and hop into the comments and let me know what you guys are looking for when you watch a trailer. Because when I watch a trailer, I'm like trying to gauge like, is this hooking me? Am I interested in seeing this? Are these performances that I want to see? Are these visuals something that strike me as compelling? Is this story drawing me in? Like, those types of things are things that I want. But it seems like for a lot of people, maybe they're just going in for the visual aspect. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, it looks cool. I like how the characters look. I like the visuals going on. It looks interesting. So yeah, I'll go check it out. I think that's really interesting. And that might give us a better, view as to why certain anime perform better than others. That's really fascinating. I don't know. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that. But anyways, this trailer was really, really weird. It was really, really strange, but I couldn't take my eyes off of it. It was fascinating. Then the last trailer we got was for Castlevania Nocturne. And so this is I believe this is a spin-off sequel-ish. I have a synopsis here in case you guys don't know what Castlevania is, or if you haven't seen it, or if you don't know what this latest season is. Personally, I fall into that second group. I haven't seen it. And so I'm probably going to try to catch up to watch this because this trailer was freaking awesome. And so the synopsis goes as such. The gory and gothic adventures of Castlevania franchise continue with an exciting new setting and their highest stakes yet, a gripping story of love and loss. Nocturne marks an evolution to the original fan favorite Castlevania Netflix series, featuring a never-before-seen origin story of Richard Belmont, gaming icon and one of the franchise's most beloved characters. Okay, so that means nothing to me when they talk about the characters. But the trailer was awesome. The trailer animation, the vibes, the trailer that I saw on the Netflix official account it was in the English dub, so they had English actors doing it. And I was like, is this made it? Okay, how do I word this? Is this made first and foremost in English, and then the Japanese actors dub over it for the Japanese dub? Or is this made in Japanese, but because it's on the Netflix America account, they're promoting the English dub? I don't really know, because the way the characters' mouths were moving, it seemed kind of natural that they were English speaking. So I don't really know how that works with Castlevania. Like I said, I've never seen it. Is it more of an anime show in terms of just the animation quality and who makes it, but it's also just an American show with the actors and the studio that's distributing it? Or is it, a studio makes it and then Netflix gets the rights to distribute it? I don't really know. If you guys know something about that, please let me know. But yeah, I don't know who's composing these shots, but the direction on this was amazing. These shots look fantastic. Look at the shading on this. Look at the color correction. Not the color correction. Yeah, color correction. Yeah, the enhancement. Look at the shading. Look at the tree on, bro, dude. This looks phenomenal visually speaking, and I am gonna check this out. I don't know if I have to watch the first few seasons to know what's going on. But if so, I'll still watch those because this just looks so cool. I want to give it a shot and I want to check it out. And guys, those were all the trailers that came out over the past few weeks. We had a lot. We had the live action One Piece. We actually had a trailer for Arknights, which was my anime of the year last year. And so the second season got a trailer this week too. I thought the trailer was bad, so I didn't want to talk about it because I only want to spread Arknights love. So we didn't talk about that. But we got a trailer for One Piece. We got a trailer for Lazarus. We got a trailer for Uzumaki. We got a trailer for Ninja Kamui. We got a trailer for Alice Totoris, and we got a trailer for Castlevania. Have you seen any of these trailers? What did you think about these trailers? Are you going to check these out, or what? What are your thoughts on that? Let me all know. Let me know what your thoughts are. Anyways, we're going to move right into the next story, which is the first Slam Dunk is now in movie theaters in the United States. It had its domestic opening weekend last week. I would have reviewed it on this week's show, but I have not had a chance to see it. Like I said, I was so busy to even film the Otaku Experience last week that I didn't even have time to go see this movie either. I know it's still playing, I believe, this weekend, so I might try to sneak out this weekend and go see it, and then maybe give you guys a review next week if you guys are interested in that. But either way, the first Slam Dunk has entered the United States theatrical market, and it made $625,000 in its opening weekend. So, at first glance, especially if you live in America, we're like, oh, this is a really bad opening. This is actually not a bad opening. Now, there's a few reasons for this. Number one, if you just look at the history of anime openings, this falls in line with most of those that aren't a part of a pre-existing franchise or aren't like a major shonen thing. Okay, so this is performing about on par with other anime. Another thing, this anime really did not have much marketing. I can't remember a single piece of Western marketing that ever came out for this. I only know about this purely because of the Otaku Experience. So this is really only those people who follow the industry, who know what's going on, who are tuned into all these communities that went to see this movie. All that to be said, I think that this is a really decent opening. This comes to us from Anime News Network. The Box Office Mojo website is estimating a Friday to Sunday opening weekend of $625,561 for the first Slam Dunk, the new anime film of Takehiko Inoue's Slam Dunk basketball manga. In America, the Numbers website reported a marginally different US dollar count of $625,611 earning for the film. Box Office Mojo lists that the film ranked at number 12 in its first weekend. So this actually isn't all that bad. I think we're used to seeing how Suzume opened to 5 million, or how Sword Art Online opened to like 1 million, or when Jujutsu Kaisen comes out, it opens to like 20 million. Same thing with Demon Slayer, whatever. We look at those big franchises and we're like, why isn't it opening? Why is there not 1 million next to it? And I think that we're looking at that a little, and I think good intention, but also I think we're looking at it a little naively if we think about it like that, because, just in general, anime movies don't open like that. Like, I don't remember how big Lonely Castle in the Mirror's opening was, actually, now that I think about it. Let me look this up. Lonely Castle in the Mirror. I forgot about it, actually, which is sad because it's really, really good. So Lonely Castle in the Mirror opened in the US to $139,000. So that opened to less. This opened to almost 6 times that, or I guess about 5 times that. I think that this is still a decent opening. I think that if there was more of a major marketing push, and they talked about how big it was in Japan and things like that. I know that there's a strike going on, but I mean, you just promote the Japanese people. I think we could have seen this open to close to, if not over 1 million for this opening weekend. And I think that could have pushed it into the top 10. I haven't checked the box office, but I assume that could have pushed it into the top 10. And that would have been really, really cool. But, it doesn't really need to. It broke so many records in Japan. It seems like from all the reactions I'm seeing from critics and audiences alike, that it's a really good movie. I just haven't had a chance to go out and see it. So yes, would I say that this opening was the preferable opening? No, I would have liked to see this movie, especially with how many wins it's been taking the entire year. We've been talking about this movie since January. We've been talking about this movie the entire year with how many wins it's taken all the way along the road. I would have hoped for a larger opening in the United States, but I think it came out to a passable opening. I think it came out like if I were to grade this on a letter score, like a test, I would give this like, an A- opening. Like this is a decent opening. It's not an A or an A+. I would give like an A to like 900,000 and I'd give like an A+ to like 1.2 million or something like that. So like to double this. But I think that this is passable. I think it's now in like the top 20 anime movies in the United States opening, because anime movies actually just generally speaking don't open that big. This opened basically on par with a lot of the Ghibli movies. So I think that's good company for it. I think it opened pretty decently for what it is. And they are saying that this is the first film in the Synopsis based on the manga. So I wonder if that this is going to get a sequel. And if it does get a sequel, that maybe that sequel could pop into that $1 million range if they do the marketing properly. That being said, did you guys see the first Slam Dunk? What are your thoughts on that? Would you be interested in me doing a review of the anime movie next week if I have a chance to see it? Let me know what you think about that. And with that being said, we're going to hop into the next story, which is more movie news. That's what it is. So The Boy and the Heron, the final film, we'll see, because I believe the last final film for Hayao Miyazaki was like 6 years ago. But here we are again, the final film from Hayao Miyazaki, The Boy and the Heron, the latest Ghibli movie, is doing great in Japan. It's somehow been performing decently, even with no marketing campaign, which I still think was a stupid decision. And y'all can get mad at me all you want. I'm right. But here's a big, major, very aggressive marketing move from them. This is going to be the opening night film for the Toronto International Film Festival, or TIFF, which is, I believe, the most popular film festival. If not, it's definitely in like the top 2 or 3. I know that. But the reason why I say this is super aggressive, this opening for TIFF, is this is going to be the first animated or Japanese film to ever kick off the Toronto International Film Festival in the history of its existence. And this means that they're going for an awards play. This means that Ghibli is going for the best animated feature Oscar this year. They're going to make an Oscars campaign out of this. Obviously, Hayao Miyazaki's final film, or at least that's what, the narrative is. We'll see if that's going to be the case, in like 3 more years, if he wants to make another movie. Basically like this is like a spiritual successor to like Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle, things like that, like this is, and Hayao Miyazaki's already gotten an Oscar, and Spirited Away got an Oscar. So this is going to be like, hey, we're going to try to do that again. And so this is very aggressive to me. This is like, bro, I think they know Spider-Verse is going to get nominated for Best Animated Feature. And so they're like, okay, it's us and it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which I did see, by the way, and that's really fun. I saw an early screening of that. And they're like, it's us and Mutant Mayhem because Spider-Verse is going for Best Picture. Maybe since Spider-Verse is getting nominated for Best Picture overall, maybe we can win animated feature. I mean, I know that's not how the Oscars works, but maybe that's the mindset. All I know is they're going to go for an Oscars push. And maybe this could even beat Spider-Verse and this be the one that gets animated feature. I don't know. I haven't seen it. All I know is that Spider-Verse, to me, is still the best film of the year. By a decent margin. I love that movie, and so I do think that movie is going to win Best Animated Feature, and I also think it's going to get nominated for Best Picture. But the fact that they're pushing this hard to be like, yo, bro, like we rarely see anime films get pushed for, a big awards campaigns, and that's because it's very expensive. And I believe there's like an Academy rule or something like that like says other countries can only like promote one film to like try to get Oscar buzz. It's really stupid, but if that's the case, then it looks like this might be the film that Japan is promoting. It looks like they're going to promote this over like Suzume, which is really interesting to me. But I don't know. This is boding very well in terms of my excitement for this movie. This is also technically marketing. So this is a good marketing campaign. I told you they would market it for America. And this is the beginning of that. It looks like not an official marketing campaign, not a trailer or anything like that, but we'll take what we can get. That being said, The Boy and the Heron is going to open for the Toronto International Film Festival. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think the same thing I do, that this is a very aggressive awards campaign strategy where they're trying to get this to win Best Animated Feature at the Oscars? Just because, it would be a great way to be like, yeah, Miyazaki's final film won Best Animated Feature. What a great way to end his career until he comes back in 3 more years and directs another movie. Who's to say? But that being said, we're going to move on into the next story, which is NIER Automata has been confirmed for a second cour. Now, the really funny thing about this is that it's ridiculous when I read this. So the NIER Automata first season, or what is now a first cour, was originally supposed to be a first season. But because of how many delays there were, this show is now ending so close to when the second season was going to start that they were like, let's just call it a second cour, bro. Like, they're just going to be part 1 and part 2 of the same season rather than season 1 and season 2. That is so funny to me that they got put so close together that they're no longer separate seasons. They're now one giant season, but just a few months apart. So they haven't given a premiere date for the second season. They just announced that it was going to be in development and that they are making it. And they're probably in the process of making it right now. I'm guesstimating probably a winter release. Fall is getting close. We're about halfway through summer. There's no way they're hitting that. So I'm assuming a winter release next year, kind of like how this one aired in winter this year. So that could be very fascinating. And that's really all there is to say about this. It's been announced. I don't even have this up. There we go. Sorry, I have studio mode on OBS. And so I see the preview of what I'm about to click on. And sometimes I leave the preview up without sending it over to the main video. And so I'm looking at what you're seeing right now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm up. Like, the thing's good. Whereas you're looking at the image. And then I realize that it's still in the preview slot. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. So all that being said, have you guys been watching NIER Automata? I heard that it finished. I have not caught up on it. The delays kind of made me just want to wait to binge it. So I'll probably binge that here in a few weeks or a few days or whatever, whenever I'm done with this big video I'm making right now. And then I look forward to seeing the second cour. This is so funny to me. But anyways, we're going to move on into the next story, which is Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury Season 2. It has come to an end. I thought it was really great. The overall show is over unless they decide to do a spin-off or a really far in the distance sequel with a different protagonist, or maybe even with these same protagonists just years later in the future. But all we know right now is that currently the idea is that Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury is done. It's over. It's in the can. I thought the second season was really, really solid. I thought it was great, actually. Way better than the first season. Now the reason why we're talking about this is because this couple right here that you see in the headline, that you see right there, they are now in a controversy. And I was going to put this in the Goofy Woofy anime community because I think this is really stupid and really dumb. But it is so big that we're not gonna do that. It would be its own thing. I decided to make it its own topic. So there's this big article from Anime Corner about this. Well, from different sources about this. I decided to take the Anime Corner one, and I'm going to read that entire thing real quick. It's just a few paragraphs because I feel like they'll make this a really good synopsis of what happened, basically. And then you can hear why this is a controversy, okay? So here we go. Bandai Namco issued a public apology on their official website for Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury on Sunday. The apology addressed the differences between the digital and print versions of Monthly Gundam Ace September 2023 issue, which left fans questioning the portrayal of the relationship between the main characters, Suletta Mercury and Miorine Rembrandt, in Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. Thank you for putting that back in there. Yeah, we totally needed to hear the title a fifth time. Anyways, according to the statement, the discrepancies were due to speculation by Gundam Ace's editor. Despite Bandai Namco requesting revisions during the proofreading process, the corrections were overlooked and weren't reflected in the digital release. The official Twitter account of Gundam Ace also released a similar statement. Voice actress Kana Ichinose, who plays the role of Suletta Mercury, shared her personal feelings about the final scene of the series in an interview. She described her love for the moment when Miorine rests her head on Suletta's shoulder and made her feel that the characters were even closer, which is why she ultimately interpreted them as being married to each other. However, this portion of the interview was omitted in the print edition of the magazine and was later edited in the digital release, leading to discontent among fans, and Bandai Namco leaves this interpretation to the viewers who have watched the anime. Suletta Mercury and Miorine Rembrandt are the main characters of Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury, and their relationship has been a central focus of the series' plot. While the anime didn't exactly state their status at the end, the series still gave a hefty amount of hints that the two are more than just friends. In the first episode, the two become engaged after Suletta wins Miorine's hand after a duel, and they remained engaged for the majority of the anime's 2-season run. After a 3-year time skip in the finale, the two were seen sitting together while wearing matching wedding rings on their left hand. Eri, Suletta's sister, also refers to herself as a sister-in-law to Miorine. Fans of the engaged couple weren't happy about this news, and they further emphasized the final scene and the relationship growth of the two, saying something like leave to the viewer's interpretation is the same as denying Suletta and Miorine's growth together and making their whole journey in finding themselves and one another again pointless, a Twitter user pointed out. Another user commented that if this was a relationship between a man and a woman, the correction wouldn't have been made and this wouldn't be an issue at all. So that's kind of what the deal is in this scenario. Okay. Now, I'm gonna start off probably very unpopular, but if you listen to me, you'll come around. Okay, here we go. So if you've watched my seasonal review back in fall when the first season of Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury came out, you'll know that I had multiple problems with the show, one of which was that I never bought into the romance between Suletta and Miorine. I felt like it wasn't even a romance, but people kind of just wanted it to be because Yuris are so in right now, kind of based. But I felt like, to me personally, at least in the first season, we'll talk about the second season in a second. The first season, it felt to me like, okay, she won her hand. Suletta won Miorine's hand in marriage because of the way that structure works, the way that the rules work, that, okay, she beat Ghoul in a duel, so now Miorine is her fiance. And it felt like, to me, like that was a place where they needed it to be for different reasons. One, so Miorine, who is the daughter of the president, basically isn't going to be this political pawn to be married off to someone for whatever reason. Now she can just marry Suletta and be chill about it. And Suletta, who was kind of seen as a very big weirdo and kind of ostracized from society in many ways, at least now she has like a friend who genuinely cares about her and likes her. But other than that, and maybe a couple scenes, a scene where they're sitting on a staircase at night and they're having a talk, and another scene where Miorine is chasing Suletta towards the end of season 1, and then they have this big heart-to-heart. Other than those two scenes, I never thought that what they had was a romance. I always thought that it was more of just a mutually beneficial relationship. Then we get to the second season where they really spend no time together at all. They get together at the end, they have a nice come-together moment, and then we have this time skip. So I think there's two ways you can look at it. You can, one, have my view, which is, about 70% through the anime. You're like, oh, okay, I disagree with everybody, but I can see how they would get there. And then the finale, when you see the rings, you see Eri referring to herself as Miorine's sister-in-law. You see how they're spending time together. You're like, okay, they obviously got married. This is them making it canon. Then you have, on top of all this, Bandai Namco being like, yeah, we'll just leave it up to the interpretation of the audience. We're not going to say nothing about it. Almost in a way, trying to get out of being like, trying to get out of confirming something for whatever reason. And it strikes a lot of people, including me, that they're just trying to get out of it so that way they don't get caught up in the drama of maybe being called like woke or something like that, where it's like, hey, you're just trying to get out of it so that way you're not connected to this Yuri couple, this lesbian couple that you created. So why even create it if you're not going to promote it and then just be like, hey, let's just let the audience figure it out what the thing is. And so I can see how a lot of people, especially fans in the LGBT community, can feel a little offended by this. It's like, yeah, okay, you have this, Yuri relationship that a lot of people have grown attached to, and that a lot of people are really enjoying. And then they finally get together, but they get together in such a way where, I mean, yes, there are clues and hints given, but it's never explicitly given. Like, a lot of people wanted a wedding scene. A lot of people wanted them to at least kiss, or at least say, like, you know, I love you to each other, or something like that. They might have, and maybe I'm just remembering wrong, but there were so many smaller hints where it's like, okay, yeah, Aries going to refer to her as a sister-in-law. They're going to have rings. And so if you like think about it, then you're like, oh, okay, so they did get married. And then on top of all that, Bandai Namco is kind of chickening out of something that they themselves made. And they're like, who's to say, you know? I mean, let's just leave it up to the audience. And it's like, no, dude, just commit. And that's sort of where the controversy comes. So I do end up agreeing, even though I personally never found the relationship myself to feel as, I guess, romantic as other people did. I never really saw them as a romantic couple. All I can say is that that's absolutely what they intended it to be. And so the fact that now they're at the end here, and maybe they started getting some negative criticisms from certain people, that now they're like, oh my gosh, retract all of that. We're just going to stay silent on it and let you guys figure that out. All you're doing is now you're making these people who, you know, really like this relationship, and especially LGBT fans of this show who really like this relationship, you're kind of just hanging them out to dry and saying, oh, good luck on that. Yeah, have fun. We're not going to be there. We're not going to confirm that this was our relationship. We're not going to confirm or deny it or whatever. And it's really, really weird how they handled this, and just like the sly little things that they're doing throughout this thing that I just read. And it's just like, why would you do that? And even the voice actress was like, in my view, like, that's what happened. But then, you know, Bandai Namco's kind of like, shh, don't say anything. Maybe they will forget and move on if we just sit still and act quietly. And so I think in effort of them trying to avoid a controversy, which, who cares? You know, if people are like, oh my gosh, who cares about this? You know, those people can shut their mouth. They don't have an opinion. But because Bandai Namco decided to listen to those people, now because of that, trying to, I guess, avoid a controversy, they have now created the controversy. So I stand with the fans on this. This is utterly goofy. This is why I almost put it in the Goofy Woofy anime community. But I think that this was just too big of a topic to throw in there. And I think that this is a much bigger issue than that. And hopefully Bandai Namco can get their act together and just chill out, bro. Bro, you know how big like the Yuri fandom is in anime? Bro, you put some like figures of them together, release a promotional artwork of them in wedding dresses. Bro, the audience will go nuts. You'll get so much love and support. Why are they freaking out about this? I don't really know. I don't understand it from a business perspective, or even just being a good person perspective. I don't understand this decision by them. That's why this is a certified goofy moment. It's not even in the Goofy Woofy anime community, but Bandai Namco, L to you. Either way, what are you guys' thoughts on this controversy? I think this is really stupid of Bandai Namco. Me, even someone like me who wasn't really enthralled by this relationship or didn't really think that it was done in the best way, I can still clearly tell you, say, yeah, they very intentionally, like their intention was deliberately that this was going to be like a romantic pairing, and they got married by the end. So why is Bandai Namco now just being hush-hush about it and pretending like nothing ever happened? What's Witch for Mercury? I never made that. Yo, Jerry, you know what this is? Like. Anyways, I'm just rambling. This is really stupid. Bandai, do better. Anyways, let's talk about the next topic, which is Re:Zero Season 3 was announced a few months ago, actually, but we never really got anything about it. We never really knew what it was about or what this next arc was going to be. I guess if you've read the web novel and things like that, you obviously know, but for those of us who are anime onlys, we don't know what's going on. So they finally did that. They gave us a new visual and they gave us a plot synopsis. So take a look at this new visual. I know it's very, very nice. One thing about Re:Zero is the production quality is insane, even if I have some problems with some of the plot elements and things like that, and mainly the pacing. I can still not deny that it's a great production. Like, it's really well put together. That being said, I'm going to check out Season 3, and they gave us a little synopsis here. A year has passed since the battle against the Great Rabbit, which was the end of season 2, I believe, as well as repelling the fierce assault of Elsa's group that saw the liberation of the sanctuary that Beatrice was contracted to. Emilia's camp has been working together for the king's selection, but while Natsuki Subaru has spent his days having fun, a single letter from a messenger signals the end of the peace. It's a letter from one of the king's selection candidates, Anastasia inviting Emilia to one of the Lagunicas? Okay, one of Lagunicas, we're going to go with that. One of Lagunica's 5 major cities. The floodgate city of Pristella. Accepting the invitation, all manners of reunions awaited Subaru's party, heading to Pristella. Some unexpected, some unintentional, and some to come in the future. Evil intentions stir beneath the surface. A crisis of unprecedented levels lurk around the corner. The boy once again stands up to fate. So we finally got something for this. We kind of know what it's about. I like that they're doing like a year time skip. We're going to see some development and things like that. I'm excited to see the development of Subaru's and Emilia's relationship. And like I said, I think if you gave me a synopsis of season 2 of ReZero, I think that might be one of the greatest anime I've ever seen. I would hear that and go, oh my gosh, show me that now. In execution, I thought that there was a lot left to be desired. I thought that the pacing was the worst element of it. I thought that it was very dragged out. I think that it was a 24 core, or not 24 core, it was a 24 or 25 episode season that could have been crunched into like 15 episodes. You know what I mean? I think that the bullet points and everything that you gave me there did not need to be this long, because I felt it wasn't even just like giving it room to breathe. It was just like really drug out. Like I felt like scenes started before the point of the scene was there, and then scenes kept going and went on after the purpose of the scene is ended. It's like the whole reason we're here, like, can we have a tighter pacing? It felt like I was watching a director's cut of an anime that I wish I just saw the faster cut for first, so that way I can then go and appreciate the director's cut more, you know? But that being said, I really like the first season of ReZero. Like, I really do. I think it's really fun. And I like some of the specials they've done. I like a lot of the characters. I like the world. The production quality is insane. So I'm hoping season 3 will be more akin to the first season than the second season. But I know I'm in the minority on that. I know a lot of people really, really loved season 2. But either way, I hope that this maybe can bring us all together and we all love it at the same time. Or maybe not. That being said, we're going to move on to the final of our big stories, which is My Hero Academia has had a 4th movie confirmed. That and some more stuff on season 7. So this comes to us from CBR. As we all know, there have been 3 My Hero Academia movies that are kind of anime original. Basically, they really have nothing to do with the show's plot. You can watch the show without the movies. You can watch the movies without the shows. They kind of have nothing to do with each other. The movies really take place in between the arcs, and then nothing really changes in the status quo. So they're just nice little stuff, little fun stuff to have if you really like the My Hero Academia world. But we got a little thing. We got a quote from, I believe, the creator of My Hero Academia, or just someone super involved in it. So this comes to us from CBR. My Hero Academia's Kohei Horikoshi was ecstatic about the news, as translated by Rukasu on X. I was really surprised when they told me there would be a new movie. I couldn't help but think back to my childhood when a new Dragon Ball movie was being released every year. Those made me so excited that I remember sitting in the movie theater with my heart racing like crazy. So I just hope the new generation of kids around the world can enjoy the movie just as much as me back then. Really sweet stuff. And they later on in the thing, they also talk about how season 7 is still in active development. They're still working on it consistently and things like that. And that should be coming out, I believe, next year, sometime pretty soon. This is really, really cool. Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, they're just fun movies to have if you're a fan of My Hero Academia. And I think they're exactly that. They're meant to give My Hero Academia fans, primarily younger audiences like kids and things like that, maybe younger teens, that experience to go see that world in a theater, because the show is obviously a show. It's way too long. You can't just show the entire season in a movie theater. I mean, you could, but that might not be the greatest idea. That this gives them a chance to go and experience those world, experience those characters, experience the action, the music, all the aspects on a big screen, because that would give them a totally different experience with this world. I remember seeing a My Hero Academia movie in in a theater before I saw the third one. That just shows how not connected they are because I didn't need to see the first two. So I watched the third one. It was between seasons 5 and 6, I believe. It might have been between seasons 4 and 5, but I believe it was between 5 and 6. And no, it was between 4 and 5. Never mind. So it's between 4 and 5. I think. I could be wrong. Whatever. Anyways, it makes no sense. It makes no difference. Nothing in the movie matters. But yeah, it was just a really fun thing. I went and saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, look at the action. Like, you're feeling the music and it's louder, it's bigger. Everything's just grander on that scale. And so I really like where his heart is at here. I really like what he's saying there. And I just like to hear that. I think that this is the creator. I could be wrong, but I just like to hear that the people involved really care about these audiences. And they really want to shape those audience experiences. And hopefully that these experiences can raise the next creators in the anime and manga industry. But that being said, guys, those are all the major stories of this week's episode. So now we're going to move on into everyone's favorite part of the show, the Goofy Woofy anime community. So MAPPA, yeah, we know the studio that did Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, things like that. And, they also did the Lazarus anime that we talked about earlier on today's show. Yeah, forget all of that. This is what they were made to do. They made a shampoo ad. That's what I'm saying, baby. This comes to us from Anime Trending. This thing's like 2 minutes, by the way. The Tokyo headquartered company Natural Lab has teamed up with MAPPA to release an anime advertisement for the former's Maro 17 men's hair shampoo brand. The 2-minute ad, 2 freaking minutes, titled Maro 17 Utakata featuring Tetsu Hen, features the voice of Yoshimasa Hosoya and is directed and storyboarded and unit directed by Takashi Sato. Storyboard artist and episode director on Chainsaw Man, Kakegurui Twin, and more. Now, Otsu, B-Stars, and Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill character designer provided the character and prop designs for the video and also served as the animation director. This thing is 2 minutes long. I didn't watch the whole thing. I skipped around though. It's really nice. It's really well put together. I like the music. I'm just like, bro, I'm not going to watch a 2-minute shampoo commercial. What is this? This is an infomercial? What the heck is going on over there, Japan? What's going on, MAPPA? This is ridiculous. This is really funny. If that other story that we talked about didn't happen, if the Gundam story didn't happen, this would be the Goofy moment. This is so funny to me. This is hilarious. I laughed so hard when I first saw this. So funny. But that being said, we had another thing, and that is that IKEA is now in the anime industry. They have started a slice of life campaign to push more furniture that has to do with that type of stuff, those types of vibes. And so they're promoting that stuff with anime. And so this comes to us from Anime Corner. Popular furniture brand IKEA launched an anime-inspired slice of life campaign in the United States, which utilizes anime and manga art styles to promote storage and organizational solutions. The campaign was conceptualized alongside the creative agency Ogilvy, New York, and creative studio Club Camping. And I gotta say, this was, I believe there's like 3 parts to this. It's like a trilogy of shorts. I watched one of them. They're like 45 seconds each. I watched one of them. There's a little gnat in my room somewhere. Anyways, keeps flying around. I'll kill it later. I will say that this was very indicative of the lo-fi girl stuff. If you ever seen the lo-fi girl or the synthwave boy or things like that, I thought that this was kind of like those vibes. They had like those calm vibes, the animation style. I was like, hey, yeah, maybe I'll go to IKEA, buy some furniture. You know what I mean? So I thought that one was cute. This one I wouldn't say is bad. I just think it's kind of funny. IKEA is now in the anime industry. It's canon. IKEA is now going to be like a freaking studio if you go to my anime list. That's funny, guys. Okay. Then we had one more Goofy Woofy anime community item today over the past 2 weeks. And oh my gosh, that thing is right in front of my face. Did y'all see that? Anyways, that is, maybe I'm the Goofy moment this week. Okay. So that thing chose violence. It said it surprise attacked me. Like, bro, I'm 15 billion times your size. Okay. Anyways. So we have the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This is the most infuriating moment of the week. And that is, I killed it, baby. Right there. It landed on my desk. Now you're effing dead. How do you like that? Yeah. I hope your freaking child saw. And then they go die and starve in here because you're trying to feed your baby or whatever the case is. This is hand sanitizer. Yeah, man. It's good to be back. Okay. So this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Time to get mad. Jujutsu Kaisen is now in Fortnite. All I gotta say, man, we freaking lost. That's all I gotta say. Look, if you're into Fortnite, good for you, man. Good for you. I'm not. And so every time they keep throwing the characters in there, dude, they put freaking Transformers in freaking Fortnite. I'm gonna cry. I don't know, man. I just keep praying they'll never put Sword Art Online in Fortnite. I keep seeing fake images of it, but hopefully it never officially happens. You know what I mean? Hopefully it never happens. That's the goal, man. If that means that we get no Sword Art Online content for the next 5 years, so be it, bro. Oh man, I don't like Fortnite, so that's that. But anyways, yeah, what do you think was the most goofy moment this week? Was it the Gundam story that we talked about earlier? Was it any of these three that we talked about? Let me know what you guys thinking about that. Let me know what you guys are thinking about that, if I can talk properly. And last but not least, let's get into the audience rankings. That's what. All right, let's get into the audience rankings. And I'm actually going to be talking about the audience rankings of the past 2 weeks, actually. So we're going to start things first with the Anime Corner audience rankings. On week 3, the week of July 14th to July 21st, 2023. So at number 1, we had Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. That went up 3 spots from rank 4, and that got 8.04% of the vote. At number 2, we had Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, The Separation, which stayed at the same rank, and that had 7.97% of the vote. At number 3, we had My Happy Marriage. That went up 3 spots from rank number 6, and that got 7.07% of the vote. Where are my Anime Corner rankings? Oh, there it is. Okay. Guys, listen. You missed the show for 2 weeks. You blank on everything. That's all I got to say. Anyways, okay, so we're back. At number 4, we had Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, which went down 1 spot from rank 3 to number 4, and that got 6.73% of the vote. And then we had Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead, which went down 4 spots from rank 1 to rank 5, and that got 4.81% of the vote. Then we had Undead Girl Murder Farce, which went down 1 spot from rank 5 to rank 6, and that got 4.33% of the vote. Then we had The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, which stayed at the same rank at number 7, and that got 3.9% of the vote. Then we had at number 8, Dark Gathering, which stayed at the same rank, and that got 3.07% of the vote. Then we had Bungo Stray Dogs 5, which is a new entry at number 9, and that got 2.95% of the vote. Then we had Reign of the Seven Spellblades, which went down 1 spot from number 9 and got 2.88% of the vote. Now we're going to go over to the anime trending rankings from that week, and then we'll be, current. So at number 1, we had Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, going up 1 spot to number 1. Then we had Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, which went down 1 spot to number 2. Then we had My Happy Marriage go up 1 spot to number 3. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 go down 1 spot to number 4. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses going up 2 spots to number 5. And Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, The Separation going down 1 spot to number 6. Then we had Haremia The Missing Pieces go down 1 spot to number 7. Then Undead Murder Farce with 2 weeks at number 8, so it's still at number 8. The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today is a new entry at number 9, and Dark Gathering is a new entry entering at number 10. Getting into this week's rankings, going back to Anime Corner, we had at number 1 Bungo Stray Dogs 5 going up 8 spots from rank 9 to rank number 1, and that got 12.28% of the vote. It must have been a really, really good episode. Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, The Separation is still at the same rank at number 2, and that got 9.88% of the vote. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 went down 2 spots from number 1 to number 3, and that got 9.78% of the vote. Then we had Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2, stay at the same rank of number 4, and that got 5.66% of the vote. Then we had My Happy Marriage go down 2 spots from rank number 3 to rank 5, and that got 5.01% of the vote. Undead Girl Murder Farce stayed at the same rank at number 6, and that got 3.91% of the vote. Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead went down 2 spots from rank 5 to rank 7, and that got 3.29% of the vote. Then we had Dark Gathering stay at the same rank at number 8, and that got 3.2% of the vote. Spy Classroom Season 2 went up 13 spots from rank 22 to rank 9. That got 3.07% of the vote. Masamune Kun's Revenge R went up 4 spots from rank 14 to number 10, and that got 2.85% of the vote. And our final ranking this week is the anime trending ranking that came out on Sunday this week, and kicking off the top 10. At number 1, we have Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, which went up 1 spot to number 1. Then we had My Happy Marriage go up 1 spot to number 2. Then we had Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead go down 2 spots to number 3. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses went up 1 spot to number 4. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 went down 1 spot to rank 5. Harimi of the Missing Pieces went up 1 spot to rank 6. Then we had Dark Gathering go up 3 spots to rank 7. The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today go up 1 spot to rank 8. Bleach 1000 Year Blood Where the Separation went down 3 spots to rank 9. And Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence is a new entry this week, and it ranks in at number 10. And guys, that's going to do it for the anime trending audience rankings and the anime corner audience rankings of the past 2 weeks. And that's also going to do it for this week's episode of the Otaku Experience. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this episode. It's good to be back. I'm glad to be back here with you guys, and I look forward to bringing back the comment sections next week, and I look forward to celebrating number 50 with you guys. So now we just got to keep doubling it. You know, it goes from the first 12. Now we're at 25. Then we're going to go to 50. Then we're going to go to 100. Then we're going to go to 200. And then it's just going to be insane from there, baby boy. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. I've been Israel King. You can check out my YouTube channel if you want to at Kingtanic. You can follow me on Instagram at Kingtanic, or you can follow me on Twitter, now renamed X. So much happened in the past 2 weeks, at Kingtanic Israel. I still think that Elon's going to change it back to Twitter. I think this is a PR stunt. And so that's why I'm not changing the logo. If he keeps it like this for another month, maybe I'll change it. But that being said, you can follow me on Twitter at Kingtanic Israel. You can find everyone on the Bur Network on the Bur Network. And so throughout the week, we have multiple shows coming out. We have Lana Ewan's Bur Network Reviews. We have DJ hosting Architects of Imagination. We have Roberto Suarez hosting K-Pasa PGS. We have Rob and Dieter Bastian doing Let's Get Physical Media. We have all of our shows. We have Midnight Musings. We, of course, have Robservations, the flagship show over here on the Bur Network. And so many other things to come, and is and was and forever, because the Bur Network is forever. And, and yeah, the Bur Network is forever. Let me tell Rob that. That being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Otaku Experience. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week.